Hello everyone, and welcome to the second week of the Let's Play Nostalgialympics. Today we'll be playing Dragon Spirit, the new legend, a rather nifty port of Namco's 1987 arcade game Dragon Spirit. And so we start off this game with something not usually seen in a shmup. This is a prologue stage actually. It's a sort of a Spark Notes version of the final section of the final level in the arcade game. Here at the end we'll be facing off against that game's final boss, a serpent-looking guy named Zawel. But he's kind of a pushover with the weapon we have right now, this long flame thing. Just look for yourself. The tail actually can't hurt you, so once he removes his staff you can just zoom up to him and spam the heck of that fire button, and you just shoot his face off. And that's the prologue stage. If you die on that stage, you'll actually have to play the easy version of the game, where you play as a gold dragon and play only like half the game's stages, and you'll get like this goofy bad ending, where it's all just a dream. But we're going to be playing the normal version with the blue dragon, so we'll only start with 1 health bar instead of 2, meaning we'll only be able to take 3 hits. And we start off pretty slow and underpowered, but we just got like 2 point pickups and 1 speed up. The white orbs are for points, and the ones with the wings are for speed. Now, the thing about this first section of the level, there are meteors flying about, but they only like fly around where the land is. So if you keep away from the land, then you won't have to worry about the meteors hitting you. So here we're coming up to our first egg, right over here. The red eggs drop shot power-ups. You can power up your shot 3 times. We got another one. We're at level 2 shot, and the blue eggs drop blue power-ups that will give you another head. See, the thing about this dragon here is you can grow extra heads, and it'll give you extra firepower if you do. You can grow up to 3 heads. But there are other ways of building up your forward firing power, but we'll get to them when we get to them. These guys over here, they jump up once you get close to them. You can bomb them from a distance, or you can just zoom right up to them and shoot them as they're rising into the air. That's the thing about this game. It's kind of like Xevious or Twin Bee, in which you can fire forward, or you can also bomb enemies on the ground. Being able to alternate between those two effectively is a key to mastering this game. Now, here's another way to increase your firepower. I have an option. I just picked up an option power-up that'll just get rid of one of my heads, but in return I have 2 smaller dragon options, and I have a smaller hitbox. The fact that I can shoot as much as like a 3-headed dragon, but still have a small hitbox, really helps. Now this is the earthquake bomb. Every bomb you drop will cause an earthquake that will destroy all enemies on the ground. So you don't have to be very selective in your aiming with that. We're just going to ignore that head power up, because if we pick that up, then we'll lose our options, and we'll get that big hitbox that we had before. And you see, an advantage to this game that it has over like the arcade version or the TurboGrafx 16 version is that your dragon has a comparatively smaller hitbox. In those games, if you like get grazed on the wing or the head, it'll count as a hit. But in this game, usually enemies will have to just hit you square on the body to really register a point of damage. So this is the first boss, the Plesiosaur, the whatever dragon thing. If you try to go behind it, it'll start shooting those things from its dots on its back. So you just want to keep in front of it. Dodge those fireballs. They're pretty easy to dodge, and you'll be able to take them out easily. So that was the first stage. This is our first mate of Arlia. Each of the first 6 stages has like a maid at the end. She'll show up whatever you do, but the other stages have like specific criteria that you need to meet for them to appear. We'll get to that when we get to that, though. Okay, so this is the second stage. It's got a lot of lava, befitting a stage named Volcano. That's a biocycler right there. It's cycling things around it will block your hits, but if you just keep firing at it, it'll die easily. If you shoot the blue thing once, it'll die. That right there is a power-up that'll turn your dragon pink, but we don't need it because I kind of like the setup we have right now. The long flames will tear through enemies, and yeah, tear right through enemies like a laser. And well, the dragon options obviously give us quite a bit of firepower too. But yeah, this isn't all that bad right here. Up here, we're coming up to, oh no, we have these phoenixes to take care of right now, but we don't really need their power-ups. Here we have some fireballs chunked at us. If you shoot a fireball, it'll split into 4, so be careful of that. But if you don't want to deal with that, you can always just dodge them, you know, like that. They move pretty slowly, and they tend to hone in on your location, so just so long as you keep moving, you won't be hit. Here are some more phoenixes. These tend to appear in tricky locations, so try to stay on the bottom so they won't come up from underneath you and hit you. And you will be able to take them out pretty easily. Here we have some more fireballs. Not very hard to dodge. Just gotta keep moving. We're coming up to the second boss. This is a round phoenix, if I remember my strategy wiki correctly. You just need to keep between its barriers and keep firing at it, and it'll go down really easily. The bosses in this game actually go down pretty easily with that firepower we have right now. She appears if you have like your shot power is less than max, and she'll recover your health if that's the case. So I mean, if you're having trouble with this stage and that boss that we just cleared, then keep that in mind. It's not always to your disadvantage to get hit on bosses. But anyway, this is the jungle stage. We have these pods that open up and shoot a 3-way shot. They're easy to dodge though. These frogs though, they're a little more annoying. They shoot a 5-way shot that has a pretty wide range. But, I mean, if you can just squeeze through their shots, which is pretty easy to do, you'll be good. Dragonflies. The dragonflies in this stage don't actually fire anything at you yet, but later on in the stage, they'll start getting a little more aggressive, so watch out for that. But for now, they're kind of ineffective. And we also have these red moths that sort of look like the red moth escorts from Galaga, another Namco arcade game. They'll just hone in on your location and fly really slowly, so you don't really have to worry about that. As you may have noticed, though, we picked up our 3rd fire power-up. So it actually, all it really does is enable auto-fire for us. So if you hold, at this point, if you hold down the fire button or the bomb button, you'll fire pretty quickly. Like an auto-fire button, come on. Here, there's also these peacocks that explode when hit. Avoid their feathers, because they're really harmful. We don't need that power-up. There's this plant-eating looking guy, but he's not much of a difficult guy to take out. And now we have these annoying guys. They spawn these seed-looking things that leave behind these gray thorns. Those gray thorns can also hurt you, so I used to think that you can't destroy the spawners, but really they just take a lot of hits to kill. If you have the level 3 shot and the long flame, you should be able to take them out pretty quickly. Otherwise, though, you're going to have to do a whole mess of dodging and shooting out the seeds, because they can be pretty problematic. But if you're sufficiently powered up, this part of the stage is actually quite easy, you know. So there's that. So after that, we have bit of a black expanse. One of the things about this game is that it's kind of empty and barren at points, so you'll have to put up with that, but otherwise this game is actually pretty good. Some of the later levels actually start getting really hectic, but in these earlier stages you'll have expanses of some boring stuff. Here we're coming up to the third boss. She's actually an interesting boss in that your primary method of damaging her is your bombs rather than your shot. In its first stage, you're going to have to bomb out those nodes on its roots, all while avoiding or shooting out those projectiles it fires at you. So you're going to have to skillfully alternate between bombing and shooting. Okay, after you destroy those first 4, you'll have to destroy another 4, placed in trickier locations. I tend to think that the ones towards the middle are easier to take out than the ones on the side, because the ones on the side are a little higher up, and that gives you less time to react to the bullets being fired at you. But again, if you're sufficiently powered up, you should have no problem with this boss here. So you've destroyed those nodes, and you'll have to deal with the boss's final form, this sort of pulsating bud, but it goes down pretty easily. So that was the third level. Okay, now this maiden appears, it's like a 50-50% chance. There's not really a sort of criteria for her, but if she does appear, you'll get an extra life, so be thankful for that once that happens. This is the graveyard, sort of a desert-like stage with those speeding guys that come from behind and shoot at you, and those annoying scorpions. I freaking hate scorpions, but I think you guys have heard about that already. Just gotta take out those guys. This is a earthquake power-up that I just picked up. I'm not sure if you can see it from here because of the frame limit set on YouTube videos and stuff, but the screen should be shaking, and all the enemies on the ground are being destroyed. This only lasts for like a couple of seconds though, so take advantage of it while it lasts. Alright, so we got these guys that shoot at us. They're from the first stage. They're not hard to take out. We also have these skulls laying in that darkness down there. They're just your generic turret enemies for this stage. They fire a lot more frequently than the other ones, so keep that in mind. Just gotta dodge all these things. We're coming up to these, I think these are skeleton fish or something that jump out of the darkness below. Take out these things before you take out that skull down there, otherwise they're going to give you a lot of hassle. So yeah, keep that in mind. Just try to prioritize your enemies, and you shouldn't have much of a problem. We're actually coming up to the end of this stage. We just need to take care of these reappearing and disappearing green guys. They really pose very little threat. They just shoot out twice and then disappear. So, and this boss is actually perhaps the easiest in the game, counting Zawel even. This is the Death Guardian, a sort of undead dragon. You shoot at it, it explodes, it exposes its core, you shoot out the core, and it dies. There's not really much to say. This fairy will only appear if you have less than 3 heads, and she'll also recover your health. Now, Area 5 is where the game gets kind of difficult. We have our first environmental hazards, I guess not counting the brambles in the 3rd stage, but you can't destroy the walls, obviously, and even if you do get a invincibility power-up, which you can actually do, and it'll only last a few seconds, of course, but if you get an invincibility power-up and hit a wall, you'll still get hurt, so keep that in mind. This level is actually very claustrophobic, so if you have a lot of speed-ups like I do, it can get pretty problematic. But it looks like we're coming up to time, though, so we won't be able to see all of this stage, which is a pity, because I kind of like the boss of this stage. It's a nifty little, it's a spider that you have to bomb and shoot out, so yeah, there's that. But anyway, this has been Zalaz, playing a new legend because I guess Zinetota thinks I'm some sort of new legend in my... or something. And I'll see you guys next week for the thrilling conclusion of the Let's Play Nostalgialympics. Well, see you guys, bye!